I'm here today to give you a quick rundown or overview of the Mitel Connect client software. Now, if this is a brand new system install or purchase for your organization, what you're going to be looking for is a Mitel Connect icon, a blue Mitel Connect icon, as you see here on your desktop. Now, if this is an upgrade from ShoreTel to the new Mitel Connect, you're probably looking for that orange icon that you're used to that's got a swirl in the center of it for the ShoreTel communicator software. Well, that no longer exists. You see, when you upgrade from ShoreTel to the new Mitel Connect, the Mitel Connect client software replaces the ShoreTel communicator software. So you're going to be looking for the Mitel Connect client icon as well. Just like any other software program, you just double left click on it and it opens, it launches. Upon that first initial launch, it's going to ask you for some credentials. Now, if you've upgraded from ShoreTel to the new Mitel Connect, these credentials are actually the same as your ShoreTel communicator software. Now, if you don't remember those, you have to reach out to your IT folks and have them reset your username and password. If this is a new system install or purchase, out of the box defaults are going to be your first initial last name, as you see here, and your password is going to be change me, all lowercase, CHANGEME. You also want to hit the Show Advanced tab and go down and enter your server information. For this case, we use a web address, but your case is probably going to be a IP address or a DNS name, like VM-Mitel or 192.168.1.1. You type your server IP address in here, and you want to make sure you hit that Remember Me box. So as long as that Remember Me box is checked, it'll never ask you for your credentials again. Then click the Login button. And now you're logged in. Now, anything you do on this software, it does it on your phone. If you had a headset on your ear, you technically wouldn't even have to physically even touch your phone. It's all through the mouse click of a click of a mouse. If you look here, you've got a dial pad. You can dial with the dial pad with a mouse, or you can enter keys on your keyboard, just like I am here. Of course, to dial a number, you hit the enter key. Enter key dials it. Just like that. You also have a directory here, just like you do on your phone, but a little bit more accessible. You can scroll up and down with your mouse wheel, or of course the scroll bar. See everyone in your entire organization. Or just like on the phone, you can type in the name of someone, and it filters it out. Just like that. Now, as you're scrolling, you'll notice these little stars start to show up. Now, these are for people that are actually in the phone system. See, when you install the Mitel Connect client, if you're an Outlook user and you have Outlook on your machine, it also installs a plug-in that integrates with Outlook, Microsoft Outlook. I'll show you how to turn those features on and off if you want them or you don't want them. But when you install it, it installs the plug-in, and it also will sync your Outlook contacts as well into this. There'll be people in there, like you're seeing here, that aren't actually on the phone system. So they won't have a star by them, and they won't show you any kind of call status or anything. So that's just an FYI. But again, as you scroll through here, you start seeing these stars, right? If you put a star by the person's name, what it does is it favorites them. So if I wanted to go down the list here and type people's names in, of course this is my office, so I know where everyone is at. See, Tim is in our office. These other contacts are not. See how they're different? So just to give you an example, I'm going to click a few, right? We'll go through and find them. I'll press the star by them. Let's do one more. Alright. If you notice, as I'm scrolling through here and finding these people, their status is online, active. It tells you live what they're doing. If Mark's in a meeting, it's going to show he's in a meeting. If he's out of office, it's going to say he's out of office. I'll show you how to change that as well. Now, once you're going through the directory, once you've gone through the directory and selected the contacts you want to select as favorites, what you do is you go back to the contact. You go to the Contacts tab, and you go to the favorites section, the favorites tab, it's going to show you a list of favorites. Now this is kind of like a virtual switchboard where you can see everything that's going on. If you added everybody in your entire organization, you could actually see exactly what everyone is doing. So I can lay my mouse over Art. It tells me Art's online. His IM Instant Messenger's online. And he's available to take calls. Now Mark, if I hover over Mark, shows that he's in a meeting. If I hover over Don, shows me Don's out of office. Now if I wanted to call someone, I'm actually going to do this so I don't interrupt people in the office. There's a tech room phone that sits right behind where I'm at. I'll just select that and add it to my contacts, my favorite section. Contacts, tech room, under favorites. Double left click, right? It dials that phone instantly. Also, I can go to my contacts and I can click one time, and it opens a new window and shows me more information about that contact or about that favorite. If I go to info, it's going to show me their extension, their phone number, their cell phone number. I can click here and then I can actually shoot an email to them. It opens up an email addressed directly to that user. Messages, this is through instant messaging. If you have that feature installed or purchased, your messages will be here. Your missed call, dialed calls, received calls will be here. And also your voicemail. So any voicemails that Richard and I have back and forth will show up here as well. Okay? So if we go back to the directory, I'll scroll up and down. This works the same way in the directory. If I wanted to call Art, I would just double left click him and it would call him. Now if I just click it once, it opens up a panel, as you see here. It's going to show me information, his extension, his email. Again, if I want to email him, just click it. It opens up Outlook and addresses the email for you. Messages, calls, voicemails, right? Now, there's also a star here. If you unclick that star, it takes him out of my favorites. If you click the star, it puts him back in your favorites. Okay? So also on the Contacts tab, not only do you have favorites, but you have something called groups. Now this is the same thing as favorites, but you can basically group people. Like if you had a human resources team or a sales team, you could actually create groups based on that. Another cool feature here is the layout. You can do compact view, which you see here, or you can do list view. List view shows you more details about the user. Of course, you see less at a time. If you go to compact view, you see more users, but of course less about them. You have to actually hover over them to see what's going on. Now groups, just as I discussed, if you wanted an HR group, a sales group, a tech, engineer group, what you do is hit the plus sign, and you want to add a group, right? Add a group. Type in the group's name. Let's pretend, there we go. Let's just do sales, right? Add a couple of our sales members in here. What you do is you can start typing their name, or the easiest way is to click into the directory over here on your left-hand side on the top of the directory. And it's going to come up and flag you, hey, are you done with your changes? Don't discard them, just hit cancel. What you do is you start typing the person's name. Like Elizabeth here, I take Elizabeth and now drag Elizabeth and drop her. Michael. Start typing in Michael's name. I'll find Michael's contact. I'll drag it and drop it. We're just going to do 2 for this example. I'm just going to hit create, right? Now if I go back to contacts and I go back to groups, there's my sales group. Sales, Michael and Elizabeth. Now this is to where you can keep an eye on exactly what callers are doing in a specific group or work group. Say you have a customer service group, right? Everyone that's in that customer service group, you could put in a group here and actually monitor the calls, the activity of their phones. Now, if you look to the right, you'll see a little equalizer bar. If you click that, it's going to open up and give you other options. If you have instant messaging on your system, you can click the Start Chat button and chat with both Elizabeth and Michael at the same time. If I wanted to schedule a meeting with them, of course this integrates with Outlook, I can schedule a meeting with them by clicking a button. And Outlook will pop up and create a meeting invite addressed to Elizabeth and Michael. I can also send a voicemail. Hit the Send Voicemail button, I hit record, my desk phone will come off the hook, it'll beep at me, and I can record a voicemail message which in turn is dropped right into Elizabeth and Michael's mailbox. It's pretty cool. Of course, to minimize or get out of this, you hit the minimize button. You're back to your groups tab. As you saw earlier when I hit the plus sign to add a new group, there's also the option to add a new contact. If I hit add contact, it's going to open up Outlook. It's going to give you a new contact tab to directly go into Outlook and create a new contact. Okay. Alright. Also in your favorites and group sections, as you can see the activity of callers or calls and phones, right? You see how if I hover over Mark, it says in a meeting? That's because his phone is in a meeting mode, right? Now you know on your phone you actually have to hit mode or state and change your call state with a button. You can actually do that with your software as well. Up here underneath my name, hit the drop down box, and I can go to out of office mode just like that. Now when people look at my name on their Connect Client software, they're going to see me and I'm going to look just like Don. I'm going to be lit up red. Okay? I can also go down through here and hit the pencil button, and I can say where I'm out of office at, why I'm out of office, or we'll return at noon, you know. Type any information I want here and hit done. And when I hover over my name, or not me, you can't actually see it on your own Connect client, but when someone hovers over my name, just like I'm doing Don here, it'll tell me out of office until noon. Okay, the recent tab is for recent calls. You're going to see missed calls in the missed call section. All is going to be all calls, missed, dialed, received, everything. It's all your call history, just like on a cell phone. Okay. Alright, now let's talk about voicemails. If I click the voicemail tab, all of my messages, my voicemail messages, are going to be displayed. I can also sort them by all, unheard messages, or saved messages, right? If I want to listen to this message from Don, I just click on Don's name. You'll see a play button. If you hit that play button, what's going to happen is your phone is going to come off the hook on your desk, and it's going to play Don's message through your speakerphone. Now, if you don't want it to play through your speakerphone, you can hover over this button here and select Use Computer Speakers. So you essentially have two options. You can either play over the speakerphone or desk phone, or you can play over the computer speakers. All you can do is hit play, and it's going to play that message. Now, have you ever had someone leave you a message that's 30 minutes long and you missed that phone number, and you've got to go back and listen to all that message again? Good thing about this is when the message is playing, it's going to light up in what point of the message it's in, right? And you can actually toggle and click throughout the message and actually navigate your way throughout that voicemail to get the data you need versus having to listen to the entire message like you would on an older phone system. It's just pretty neat. Now, internal users like Don, he's a user with our company. I could actually respond on the fly to his voicemail and drop a response back to his voicemail box, which is pretty cool, right? Hit the reply key, hit record, and the phone's going to come off the hook on speaker, and it's going to beep at me. Test message, Don DeHardy, test message. I hit stop, right? I can hit play. My phone's going to come off the hook.
Don DeHardy, test.
And play a preview of what I'm getting ready to send, right? At that point, I can mark it as urgent, private, whatever there, and I hit send, and that responds back to his mailbox. I reply to his voicemail that he left me. I'm going to cancel out on this. You can also forward, like if Don's voicemail, if he called the wrong person by accident, I can hit forward and send it to anyone else in my office. Along with that, I can hit record. My phone will come off the hook. It'll beep at me, and I can record a message that goes along with the message of Don's that I'm sending to the appropriate person, if that makes sense. Okay. I also have the option to save the message. If I hit save, I go up here to my saved folder, and this message is going to come up in my saved folder, right? If I want to remove it, I right-click the message and hit unsave. Now, yeah, I also have other options. If I right-click, I can mark them as unheard, kind of like an email, right? I can save the voicemail to my saved voicemail folder. I can hit it to edit the voicemail subject. I can also download it as a WAV file. Many options, right? Now, messages, the message tab, you're only going to actually utilize this if you've purchased a conference bridge or associated licenses to have the feature on your system. Instant messaging to and from users across your company, right? This is where the messages will show up. Now the Events tab, like I said earlier, the Mitel Connect client integrates with Outlook. So anything on your calendar is going to show up as well inside your Mitel Connect client. As you see here, it's going to be all upcoming events, past events. I can also create meetings on the fly, create events and meetings on the fly directly from the Mitel Connect client software. Alright, so let's take a moment for a quick stop and let's review what we discussed so far. So far we discussed the dial pad, how to dial numbers. We discussed availability states, contacts, recent calls like the call history on your cell phone, voicemails, instant messaging, as well as events. Now let's actually put all this together and let's start making calls. Let's start receiving calls. Let me show you how to interact with calls as they come in with your Connect client software. Now to dial a number, you can use the dial pad as I showed you earlier and click the buttons you wish to dial. Or you can type on the keyboard. I'm going to call the tech room here for an example. I type in 5730. Now actually if it's in a directory already, it's going to show up to the right. Now hit the enter key. Hit the enter key and my phone's going to come off the hook on speaker and it's going to call the tech room. Right? I can also go up here to my directory and type in tech room. Right? Double left click on the mouse. It's going to call the tech room. Alright. Now receiving calls. Let me actually call myself with my cell phone. Now what you won't see on my screen is there's actually a pop-up that comes up, a caller ID pop-up, and shows you on your screen who's calling. I'm using multiple screens to train with, and it's only going to come up on the main screen you use. If you use 3 screens, it's going to only come up on the main screen that you normally use. So you won't actually see it, but I'll take a screenshot as it comes up and drag it over and let you actually see what that looks like. So the incoming call, it's going to pop up on the bottom right hand corner of your screen like this. Alright, it's going to tell me I got an incoming call on that caller ID pop up, as well as right here underneath the events section it's going to show me my calls. At that point I can send it to voicemail or I can answer it. I'm going to answer the call. Let me mute so I don't echo. And I've got a live call. At this point, I've got the live call right. It's open. It shows me up here who I'm talking to. I'm talking to myself, right? It's going to show me the duration of the call. It's going to allow me to mute and unmute that call. It's going to allow me to add a participant to the call, like a conference. It's going to let me transfer that person to someone else. So I wanted to transfer this call to someone else in the company. I hit the transfer key and I type in the name or extension of the person I want to transfer it to. Then I hit the transfer key. I can also do a consultative transfer just like I could on my phone using the button consult. Right? Now these other keys, depending on if you have the features or not, if you have a conference bridge, a full-blown conference bridge and all the licenses purchased, you can actually do screen sharing. You can do video conferencing. This will be for video conferencing. This will be for screen sharing. You can do call recording. Right? This is for mobility. It moves the call from your desk phone to your actual cell phone. Right? More interaction features here. You got hang up, right? The red button. If you hit that, it's going to hang up on the call. If I hit pause, I'm going to be placed on pause or hold, right? If I want to pick the call back up, I hit the green button and pick it back up. If I want to mute the call, I hit the mute key. Just like that, right? One more cool way to transfer calls is find someone in a directory, or I can go to my contacts, right? Let's say Derek's called in, which is myself, and I want to talk to Danny, right? What I do is I pick up the call and I actually physically drag it and drop it to Danny. I drop it to Danny's name and let off the mouse and it's going to come up and say transfer. You hit the transfer key and it's going to transfer the call to Danny. Now to disconnect the call, you simply hit the hang up button here, the red button, and it disconnects the call. Now just a few more features I want to show you. And keep in mind I'm just giving you a brief overview or rundown of the software, how to use it, the basic functionality of it day to day. The actual manual for this software is probably 150 pages long, so if I went over every single thing you could do in the software, we'd be here for 8 hours probably. So one other important thing we want to look at is the connect button at the very top. You click it and there's going to be a drop down box and you go to settings. Settings is where all the magic happens, right? You go into call routing, and call routing enables you to route calls based on your availability state of your phone. So if my phone's unavailable, this is what it's going to do. If my phone is in out of office, this is what it's going to do, right? Let's say if I'm in available mode, my phone my phone calls are going to go to my desk phone, right? No other phones are going to ring, and it's going to ring 4 times. If I don't want it to ring 4 times, I just want it to ring 2, right? I go here and hit change, and I change 4 to 2, right? Also, I can hit a Start Wizard key. The Start Wizard key is going to launch a wizard. It's going to take me through the ins and outs of every single thing I can do with my phone call during the available state. Now, if I want to edit a different state, like out of office, I just change up here from when to out of office, and it's going to enable me to change settings based on out of office. You also have the ability to record your voicemail greeting directly from this screen as well. You go here and you hit record. It's going to pop up a box and allow you to record your greeting. Now, what's cool about this is you can actually have a greeting for all of your availability states. I can have an available greeting just like my normal greeting. I can have an in a meeting greeting. I can have out of office. I can set up a vacation greeting before I ever go on vacation, letting everyone know when I'm going to come back into town, right? You just go down through here, hit the record key, and it's going to allow me to record a greeting. Basically, all the magic happens here of call routing in this call routing section. Again, you've got individual things you can change, or you can use the wizard and change every single option you've got available, right? You also have a power routing button. Power routing is kind of like Outlook. If you've ever used Outlook folders and routed emails as they come in to specific folders, it's kind of the same thing. You're just routing phone calls. What I do is create a new power rule, type in the phone number, or just name the rule first, right? You name the rule. And if the phone number matches a certain number, then I can make it forward to another number or directly to my voicemail, however I'd like to do it. Alright. Account. If you go to Account and AD Credentials, this is how you actually link up your Exchange or Office 365 to the Connect client, or unlink it for that matter. Now, like I said earlier, once you hit that Events tab, if you've never used it before, if you've never used Events or the Connect client, it's going to prompt you. It's going to ask you for your login information to Office 365, all from that screen. But if you ever need to access it again, it's going to be right here under AD Credentials. Login. If you go to Login, it's going to allow you to change your password for your Mitel Connect client. You know how we first logged into the software? By default, it's all lowercase change me. You can actually type in change me again and set your new password and confirm it. Okay. Voicemail. This is where you can actually set up your voicemail account, password. You can enter your password. By default, a brand new phone is going to be 1234#, right? And give yourself a new password. You can re-record your name here as well on the voicemail. Outlook settings. This is where you administer what Outlook does and does not do with the Mitel Connect client. Now let's open up Outlook for a quick moment. If you open up Outlook and select an event, upcoming event, like I'm doing here, you're going to see at the very top of your calendar invite, it says Mitel. You got a Mitel section. What this says is anytime I do something in my calendar, I have the ability to also configure my phone to a specific state. So with this specific scenario, I'm going to be out of town from Tuesday to Friday, right? And this tells me that my phone is automatically going to be put in out of office for me. Now I can override that and make it available, or I can put it in something different, right? But that's what that is. That's what this checkbox here is for. Don't save changes. Alright. That's what this checkbox is for. Sync my calendar with my Mitel Connect availability modes. If you uncheck that, it will no longer do it. If you keep it checked, then it's going to sync with your calendar. If I schedule a meeting, it's going to put my phone in a meeting mode when I'm in that meeting automatically for me. So sometimes it's a feature people love, sometimes people don't want it. You know, if you get out of the meeting early, 30 minutes early, your phone's going to still be in a meeting mode. You have to manually change that from in a meeting back to available, just to keep in mind. Outlook work hours, to switch my Mitel Connect availability to out of office, right? Outlook work hours, let's open up Outlook again. In Outlook, if you go to File, Options, and go to Calendar, there's an Outlook work hours section right here. My work hours Monday through Friday are 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Now, having this box checked means anytime before 7:30 a.m. or after 4:30 p.m., my phone is automatically going to go to out of office mode. Now you can change your Outlook work hours, or you can uncheck the box entirely and it won't do it. But that's an option that comes with the system or the software. Contacts. Sync my Outlook contacts. I can turn it on or off. It's going to either show my contacts or not show them, right? if I have already synced my contacts, I can hit the remove sync contacts button and it'll remove them. Okay. Notifications section. This is going to be where you administer the notifications on your software. You know how I told you about the pop-up that pops up whenever you get an incoming call, caller ID showing you who's calling? You can turn that off here. You can turn off notifications for instant messaging, voicemails, right? You can also add sounds. If I have a new voicemail, I can make it beep. I can make it play an alert for me. All those features are right here, okay? Also, on the Connect menu, scroll down. Actually, there's an Always on Top button I wanted to show you. If I hit the Always on Top button, that means just what it says. Your software is always going to be on top. If I have another program open, no matter what it is, the software is going to be on top. Now, if I uncheck that Always on Top button, it's going to allow me to pretty much cover it up. If I'm working on an email, if I'm in Excel working, it's going to cover up the Connect client. Now keep in mind, anytime you close the software, it's still open. It's still running. Your pop-up's going to come up. On the bottom right-hand corner of your system tray, you go down and select it. That's the only way you can exit out of it. Just go down to your system tray, right-click, and hit exit. It's always running. Now to open it back up, just double left-click on it, and it picks up right where you left off. One final thing on the Connect Client menu. If you go to Connect Client menu and you go to User Guide, right? It's going to launch you onto the web and it's going to bring the User Guide up. Now all 136 pages are right here. Anything you want to do with the Connect client, you're going to find it here. Any questions, any additional features you would like to explore, they're all in this manual. You also, get this out of the way, have the ability to go online with the training video button. There's going to be videos of phones, the software, anything you want online at your fingertips if you hit that button. Alright, that concludes today's training, and I thank you for joining me.